was so cool listening to that whole album, to hear Slick Rick's perspective and what he was about, what he was thinking about at the time was amazing.
That's what we try to do with these sessions, is just go through the thought process and the creative process of the people and how they did it. Now you, Sam, this is, you know, your old stomping ground. You were from the Bronx. Where did you grow up?
Actually, Derima Avenue in the Bronx, which was, I guess it's the Northeast. So I was also influenced. My heaviest influence was the Cold Crush Brothers, Grandmaster Caz, JDL, Easy AD, KG, Charlie Chase, Tony Tone. That's my biggest influence for the music.
And I guess, you know, we're here, we're celebrating, you know, each of the 5 boroughs. You know, what to you is the essence of the Bronx in terms of hip hop? You know, it's the foundation, but what else is it to you?
Mine, you know, without giving up my age, something that was key is kids that were older than me used to play tapes and used to hear routines. So you used to hear Grand Wizard Theodore, Fantastic Five, and you know, correct my, you know, I believe it was the L Brothers at first, and then it got a little, the members changed, and I don't know, you can hear me say Cold Crush Brothers a lot today. Because they was, for the Bronx, you know, Grandmaster Caz was the first one I ever saw wear a hat like this and stand a certain way and be the leader. And that was very slick, and he was fly. And then, you know, I used to sneak out to parties, and I didn't know what Grandmaster Caz looked like. But when I was at a party where they were, you would see each rapper slowly go over and say hi to him. So I knew he's either Melly Mel, Grandmaster Caz, or Bambaataa, or something of that sort. So then you'd figure it out. So that was key for me. But I used to go to the Skanky on Allerton Avenue. How many people have been to the Skanky Roller? You know, that was where the artists used to perform, at least that I could go to and I was allowed to go to. This might be 81, 82. Once again, I'm not giving up my age, but I was there. But the tapes I used to listen to were from the park. So I remember 100 Park. I never went. It was not Valley Park. You know, there was a lot of robberies over there. I didn't want to get robbed, but Jamaican music ruled the land. I'm Jamaican, and my parents are Jamaican. So a lot of people from West Indian heritage gravitated to the Northeast Bronx. And then so, you know, the Jamaican kids allowed the hip hop to play. So when he retired of the hip hop noise, there was usually a couple shots that rang off, and then we'd clear it up. But that's my, you know, I didn't know how influential the Bronx was when I was a kid until you started to ask other people. And then I'd ask a kid from Queens, well, you know, this is the Cold Crush Brothers, and they would say something, and I'm like, I never heard of them. You know, they'd say who was from their town, but they knew who was from my town. So, you know, that was, the DJing aspect was always cool to me. You know, Grandmaster Flash was very cool to me. Like the way he would throw the record in, and the swag that he had. And you know, people always talk about Melly Mel, but you know, I want to say it was Cowboy who passed away, who just his swag, and that wasn't the word we used back then, but cool, his cool, or what he was about, you know. So that was, those guys were, you know, who I looked up to and who I wanted to be like.
I mean, how, You know, how do you put it into terms that, you know, people who weren't there, you know, can sort of understand the level of importance that these guys were? You know, say as an example, like who would be like, you know, a Flash or a Kaz? They were superstars to you guys.
You know, the equivalent of when you see Puffy come in a room, you know, if you saw one of these guys, or Jay-Z, you know, I always compare a record to it's the Benjamins, you know, to me back then. So, and I think a neighborhood celebrity that you can touch, reach out and touch and see, you know, what's important. And that's what, everybody just did it. You just wanted your neighbor. I just wanted people to know I DJ. I didn't care if I made a penny, I didn't care. I just wanted somebody to say to me, you DJ, right? You DJ? That's all I wanted. And that's what those guys fought for. They weren't fighting really to make records and record deals. And, you know, the Bronx is, I mean, look, I don't want to, you know, Busy Bee, Bambaataa, you know, there was so many different. Jazzy J was very talented. There used to be a club on Gun Hill Road called the T Connection, and Richie T, I think, used to do the sound system. I was never there. I just had the tapes. I don't want to come up here and start lying. I just had the cassette tapes, but you know, that's my, you know, how I look at pioneers. You know how like you have a baseball card or an important baseball card? If you had tapes of crews and what crews were important was your hot commodity. Cold Crush was a hot commodity, and that's what you traded, you know. And then is everyone in here originally from the Bronx? Who's originally from the Bronx? I'm gonna tell you how this used to work. On Thursday, you used to ask someone, where's Cold Crush Brothers playing? And if you had a boom box, you always had to have the latest Cold Crush tape. And people always knew who did not have the latest Cold Crush tape. And the person who had the latest was the coolest nigga on the block for that weekend. Because you had the new routine, the fresh Duracells in the boombox, and you were the man. And that was what, it's still that concept now, like having the new Nikes or whatever, you know, it was about the new Cold Crush tape. And the reason why is, it was just, they were the flyest. And that was what patterned after. I told you, you're gonna hear that name a lot from me tonight, man. That's what I grew up on.
What was your first jam like when you got to finally get out there and play for the neighborhood?
Slick Rick was talking about a record called Impeach the President. And that was a hot record because when the Cold Crush was setting up, the DJ would always rub that record. So you were always associated with, oh my God, something's gonna happen. So Impeach the President was a hard record to get on vinyl. So since I had the record, you were allowed to kind of get, like if a kid had turntables, I would mention it, I got Impeach the President. So that got you like okay, I'm gonna go into the house. And then sometimes it was 4 or 5 MCs. So if you start cutting up and you're catching it on time, then if an MC grabs the mic, that means you're official.